WATE.com Digital Center, answering your legal questions. This is Ask Isaacs. Now, here's Lori Tucker and attorney Greg Isaacs.
Hi, everyone. Glad you're with us today. Hey, here's a question for you. Are you ready for Halloween? Are you ready?
Absolutely not, Lori.
Absolutely
Absolutely not.
Oh my goodness, we have a lot to talk about. Halloween is coming up on Tuesday. Always good to see you.
Good to be here.
Let's start by talking about some pretty interesting stats when it comes to Knoxville and Halloween. First things first, we have good news.
We have good news.
Yeah.
Even though Halloween can lead to a lot of legal shenanigans and,
Yes.
and legal trouble, pranks can turn into crimes, but Knoxville is ranked number 5 in the United States as the safest places to trick or treat.
Wow, and we looked at this, and Memphis is the only other Tennessee city on the list, and it's number 6.
Right, so that makes us number 1 in Tennessee.
All right, there we go. All right, we'll take that. We see some little trick-or-treaters here. This is, I don't care how safe we're talking about the situation may be in Knoxville, but Halloween is becoming one of the most dangerous holidays in the country. And it's always been rife with problems, hence it's Halloween. You're going to expect some shenanigans, like you said. But we're talking today about when these pranks cross into breaking the law.
You know, it's a fun holiday, just like New Year's Eve is a fun holiday, but it's a very dangerous holiday as well. And Lori, let's look at some of the stats. In 2021, there were 93 drunk driving deaths nationally on Halloween. There is a 15% increase in theft crimes, a 72% increase in vandalism and insurance claims.
Are we surprised by that?
No. And your risk of being killed as a pedestrian increases in Tennessee 43% higher on Halloween.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fun and it's cute, but just know it's incredibly important to be safe.
I'm always on the lookout. I know you are too, because when I get home is right when trick-or-treaters are out on Halloween when I get home from work. And they're everywhere, crossing the street. A lot of them don't look. It's an exciting time. Kids are running everywhere. Hopefully they're with their parents, the younger ones. But you do have to be on the lookout. There are some things that really stood out to me. And that is, okay, you're going to a haunted house. If someone touches you, one of the workers there, scare you, and they have a saw or whatever, and you could charge them with assault. Is that right?
You know, there is, if you look at the stats, there are crimes, there have been fatalities.
Yeah.
Nothing
at haunted
good
houses.
happens in a haunted house. Thus the term haunted house.
Right.
But here's the most important thing to
Yikes.
know legally. There is no exception for a prank. The law doesn't roll back. The law doesn't excuse itself.
Even if the worker comes up and they're scary, they're in your face, and they may do that. Is that assault?
Well, what you see a lot of times is individuals touching people in places where they shouldn't be touched.
Well, that's a whole other story.
And it's a crime, and,
Yeah.
it happens.
And that is assault.
Unfortunately, frequently.
Yes.
But, the other thing is, things that you think may be innocuous. If you're younger, you're a trick-or-treater, you feel that you have some kind of sense of entitlement to vandalize, celebrate, grab the pumpkin, throw it against a garage door.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's vandalism.
Yeah.
Vandalism under Tennessee law is defined as damage or destruction of property.
And there are different levels, obviously.
Yeah, it is. If it's over 1,000, it's a felony. But damage can be ever so slight. You can throw an egg at a house. You can roll a yard. I've actually had a case where good kids, all good kids, driving down the road, reached out of the car window, stole a trick-or-treater's bag of candy.
Out of their hand?
Out of their hand,
Oh.
charged with robbery because through force and intimidation they took something.
So what kind of penalty does that bring?
It's a felony. But fortunately, it went away.
Yeah.
Disappeared, much like the Halloween ghost. But it just goes
Did
to
they
show
have
you.
the right attorney? I'm just
Well,
kidding. No, it's something. I know it's something to take seriously, though, and you do feel like all bets are off when you're a kid. Oh, I'm just going to go have fun and be wild and get caught up in the moment. With other kids, you may be a good kid, like you said, but it's easy to get caught
and
up in
let's think
that.
about things. At Tennessee, harkening back to our dark ages, has a law still on the books that it's against the law to go masked. If you're using it to intimidate or harass somebody.
Okay.
So if you're using the mask for an inappropriate purpose, it could be against the law. Know that there are also safety issues with masks. We talk about that flurry when you're driving home at dusk as the sun's going down and the trick-or-treaters emerge from everywhere. Your line of vision is impaired as it gets dark, but their line of vision is impaired based on the masks, things, etc.
Yeah.
So you still have a duty to use reasonable care, and let's talk about things that are important that we have the ability to do as parents and citizens on a night like this. So one tool, and we've talked about it in a variety of different contexts here on Ask Isaacs, is the sex offender registry. And our Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has done an excellent job in making it a consumer-friendly website to navigate.
Let's pull that up and we'll show you while you're talking about it. Here's what it looks like. I'm going to scroll down now.
And you can search for addresses, and that's a great shot, Lori. So you can look, in your area, names, streets, and it will actually show you where someone that is on the SOR resides. Now,
We plugged in our address here in North Knoxville at WATE, and look at that.
Yeah, and this isn't. We're not saying this so you hunt someone down, harass, humiliate. Just be cognizant if you have young children. Make sure they're supervised, because in our area there are people that are on that registry.
Well, you can see the number of
and this
homes
is just
that
here
are
at
just
WATE
in North Knoxville.
North Knoxville.
Yeah. All right. So be aware of that. It's really easy to find. It's the National Sex Offender Public website, NSOPW. You can even plug that in, and it'll take you right there to it. There's also an app for that as well.
And unfortunately, because the law is what the law is, we're seeing a trend for homeowners and people not to want to participate in Halloween. They turn their lights off. Sometimes they'll put a bowl of candy on the step,
which disappears really quickly.
Just take one, please.
Right. Who does that?
But sometimes they don't. So and part of the reason is, we unfortunately see lawsuits for people not using reasonable care, where someone trips, falls as they're going to your house, they're running through your yard.
Things you might not even think about.
Right.
Yeah.
So know that for you to go on someone's property to be an invitee, you have to have a reasonable expectation that they're there to participate in Halloween.
So if someone trips and say they hit their chin on your front step, you could be liable?
It depends on the scenario. If it was something that was a legal issue that should have been fixed, covered up, whatever, whether you had notice or not. I mean, we can go down that rabbit hole all day long. But the point is, if you see someone that does not look like they're participating in Halloween, respect their privacy and don't go to their house.
Don't go to the door. Don't egg their house. Don't roll their yard. All the other things that have happened in the past.
Don't commit this crime, that crime, whatever.
Just have fun. Yes. Let's talk about the curfew, because there is still a curfew in place, but is it really enforced on Halloween?
I was getting ready to say it's one of the laws that people kind of smile, wink, and nod. Do you really do it? Well, yes, they do, but they do it at the same time you get in trouble. So just know that we have a curfew. If you are 17 to 18, your curfew Monday through Thursday is 11 p.m. If you are younger, it is 10 p.m. unless you're accompanied by a parent or you're coming to or from work.
All right. So you've got that. There are exceptions to the law, like you said, if you're helping out there. We mentioned the haunted house before, and there's more to it. Okay? You can get charged with assault. If you harm the workers, they likewise need to be careful. So you can't touch them either. If you're afraid and you haul off and hit somebody, that can get you in trouble, right?
Halloween does not modify, suspend, or give you a defense to breaking the law.
It's not a free-for-all.
It's not a free-for-all. Now, my big question is, what would one expect if they came to the Lori Tucker home and said trick or treat?
Sometimes we give out full-size candy bars if we're feeling generous. How about that?
Not the little bitty.
Not the little bitty ones I have back there at my desk. No. What about your house? Do you turn the lights off, or are you welcoming?
The lights are on, and I typically try to increase everyone's blood sugar as much as I can when they come to the house.
You don't give out
and just give out
toothbrushes.
handfuls. And, no, we don't. We're not dentists. We're lawyers. But yeah, and it's interesting. So I mean, aside from all the legal perils, gloom, doom, etc., it's a fun holiday when you see the little ghosts and goblins coming to your door and saying trick or treat in only the voice they can, and just a really fun time. And aside from all the risk, and we're talking about all this, again, Knoxville is a very safe place to trick or treat. But as we say, whether it's spring break, whether it's New Year's Eve, just be smart, be a good person, be courteous. And when you talk about driving down the road,
scares me.
You got to use reasonable care under the circumstances. So just know if the speed limit's 25 on Halloween, a reasonable person would go 15.
Right.
Just know that you need to be hyper vigilant.
I want to ask you one thing, and I've asked you this every year. It scares me sometimes when there's a group. I'm talking age limits here. There's not really an official age limit.
I thought you were going to ask me about poltergeists.
Well, that's next. Okay. But a big group of older kids show up at your door. That just kind of, if they're older kids, how old is too old to trick or treat, in your opinion?
Lori, I want to break this to you very easily.
Okay.
You may have aged out.
I don't plan on going trick or treating. But no, you know what I'm saying. It's a little threatening, I guess. It depends on how they're dressed.
It's a little threatening. I've encountered that when you open the door sometimes. But I don't know that there is any, I know there's no state law that would impose an age. And, whether the city or county does, I'm not sure. But again, I would be reasonable. Parents, it's it's a holiday for children. And, you would not expect to see the people, you would expect to see the people that are coming to your door trick-or-treating that you would see at a Disney movie or Disney on Ice.
That's a great way to put it.
So if you're too old to do that, then you're too old to knock on my door and say trick or treat.
There you go.
Unless you're dressed as Barbie.
Wow. Should we end on that note?
Or Ken, I guess. We must be gender neutral here.
We must keep it enough. That's so bad. Did you see the movie?
I did not.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
We'll
leave it at that. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hey, we'll talk more about this coming up at 5:30 tonight on WATE 6 on your side.
And we end with a sneeze.